thought you might want to join me watching this picture unfold. It's very, very slow, but you can see the patterns emerging, fractals and sort of little dynamic systems. It's very cold in here, and 0 degrees and lower, and the medium that I'm using here, this white stuff, it'll actually dry clear, was frozen, and I had to sort of defrost it, but you can see, maybe you see a little bit, it's slightly lumpy, and that, you know, apart from the fact that I couldn't initially get it out of the squeezy bottle, this one here, once I did get it out, I think it's creating like this little sort of graininess to the drips here, which is creating a lot more character. So I'm sort of quite pleased, as freezing as I am, that it was frozen, and I'm just sort of sitting here enjoying it, watching it unfold, adding a bit, because I want it to go all the way down there, but I don't want to saturate the canvas or put too much medium on it, because otherwise it will just all mix up together and turn into an horrible mess, or just drip off the bottom. So I've got it slightly elevated, and then I'm sort of just here thinking to myself, you know, listening to a podcast of Blind Boy talking to Grayson Perry, and you know, about the fun in art, and how art tends to be, the art world in particular tends to be a bit pose-based and serious and solemn, because they want, you know, something that's ultimately about pleasure and leisure, and it, you know, in its most pompous forms is quite silly, but they need to make it seem like it's worth something. They need to make it seem like it's worth more, and it's a bit of a conjuring trick, and it's a bit of a cultural gatekeeping activity. Anyway, I sort of think most of the people that make art do it because they enjoy the process, not because of the art itself, and I'm certainly one of those, and there's quite a few different things about the process that I really enjoy, but watching stuff like this is one of my great joys. And what am I making here? Well, I don't really know, and I don't have much control over it, and the more control I try and take, the less good it tends to be, because nature does a good job, and if you just interfere too much, you end up with a sort of gunky, horrible mess, or just something that looks less cool. I mean, what's better than this? What's better than that pattern there? My job really here is to try and preserve these little veiny, capillary patterns, and to create a bit of contrast and a bit of balance. So there's a certain amount of mediation that's going to go on here, but I need to be as hands-off as possible. But this is an enjoyable process, and I sort of feel like the best art you can see, you know, be that paintings or sculptures, but also photography, film, you know, comedy, even, everything. The stuff that is the best, the stuff that's the most pleasant and enjoyable and stimulating for the consumer is the stuff that someone had fun making, that you can see that there was a joy, and there was fun, and there was excitement in it, and that there was energy and passion. And Grayson Perry's a really good example of this, because his work's just so much fun. Look at this bit over here. That's amazing. Look, I can't quite get rid of the reflections on it. There we go. And I love Grayson Perry's work. I'm actually relatively new to it, but you know, most of my favourite artists were really illustrators of the sort of golden age of the pulp, science fiction, horror, thriller, pulp cover, and those guys, they were just salaried illustrators, and they didn't make much money, and no one really cared about their art, even though it would get seen by lots and lots of people. And but there's so much joy and passion in those pieces, and so much creativity. And it's a creativity, you know, that's almost completely missing from many of the sort of mainstream art world art, you know, the mainstream art and establishment art. You know, there's just so little joy and passion. You know, there's so much of it that's just completely missing this side of things, and I think it shows, right? And I think that people can tell the difference. You know, anyone can tell the difference. And so my basic theory is here with this is, if I enjoy making it, if I enjoy creating this, if there's a story around how I made this come about that resonates with me, and if there's if the canvas itself tells a story of unfolding, of a process of that is, you know, creating a narrative of it as it works its way across a canvas. If I can do that, then other people will see that as well. They'll see the joy, they'll see the patience, they'll see the experimentation, and that will resonate with them. And I'm hoping it comes out. I just, as I've said many times before, and I'm sort of remedying this in motion now, sort of feel slightly sad that people don't get to see what I get to see. They only get to see the after effects. Of course, this stuff is all going to dry unless I keep it in sort of minus temperatures, and this white stuff will dry roughly clear. And so a lot of the vibrancy that you see now and the definition is going to be lost. And that's a terrible shame. But there's not a lot I can do about that other than keep experimenting and see whether I can keep it. But that doesn't stop the fact that this little drama unfolded. You can see this really slowly dribbling down, and sort of watching it, and I'll just stand here watching it like for ages. It's so mindful. And I don't do this. It's not a form of meditation for me. Not directly. It's just something that I sort of found myself, you know, evolving into as a sort of technique, if you can call it that. And it's quite meditative in its nature. It's calming and it's enjoyable. And you know, that's why I do it, because I enjoy doing it, and more often than not I like the outcomes. And like this is a completely different approach, but the same sort of general principle, sort of looking more at creating patterns with watercolor, and you get these gorgeous little splodges with really defined edges, and they're quite beautiful. This isn't dry yet, and acrylic paint tends to dry a bit more translucent depending on the pigment, but this was all quite diluted, so you know, that's all gonna lighten up a bit, and maybe I'll put another layer on. But you know, I don't know what this is, and I'm not sure I care. I think that's quite beautiful in its own right. And like this one as well, this one I really like this. This was a repurposing of an old picture that I really didn't like, that I just went at with a bunch of paint and inks and medium, and I even put some strings and stuff on it, just anything to break up the panel, the patterns and the colors that were there, and give it a bit more character. And now I think it's really interesting picture that, depending on how you look at it, you know, can present quite a few different things. And so that was a similar process to what I'm going through here. And so not only did I produce something that was quite cool, I really enjoyed it. It's like better than telly, better than sitting around on the you know, playing on computer games or whatever. But you can see, look, this one's going quite a way now, and look at all those colours blending in there. Look at all those channels of colour. Oh, focus. Yeah, I mean, it'll all probably mix up. Oh, look at this bit here. Look at the colours there. Absolutely beautiful. And here, look, the graininess within the... I mean, they're just like alien landscapes. I spotted a book by Gerhard Richter, who'd done a bunch of stuff like this. This was after I'd sort of started doing it myself, and I doubt he was the first, and I doubt I'm anywhere near alone in this type of approach. And if you're out there doing something like this, then get in touch. I'd love to see it. But there's so many things to be read into this. There's so many things to be said about it right now. And then if I go away and I come back in half an hour, it's going to tell me a different story. And right now, I don't know, it's sort of alien, and something about it that's quite organic and beautiful, yet sort of disturbing and, you know, a little bit creepy. And if you found a pattern like that creeping up your wall, you'd freak properly out, wouldn't you? Oh, look at this bit over here. Oh, look at that. Wow, how's that even possible? How did that happen? My God. See what I mean? This stuff is so fun. Look, and these things, I don't even know how it's possible. They seem to be creeping up. There's stuff here that seems to be creeping uphill. I mean, it can't be, but... And there's like a rainbow of colours in there. And maybe you can't see it as well as I can. It's quite vibrant here. The light in here is fairly much daylight, so it's pretty much representative. I just don't know. I don't know if anyone has the same interest. Look at the way that bifurcates in the middle, and you've got two different colours. There's no black on here. That's all green mixed with red, and that's just gone almost completely black. Look at that. I feel a little bit like Chris Packham on Spring Watch. I love my nature, but he's the expert there, but he gets so excitable, and that will excite me a certain amount, but this is something else. I mean, I just love this. So much fun. I can't keep filming it though, because I'll run out of space, and I'm sure you're not finding this in the least bit of as much exciting as I am. And but then you can just switch off. More fool you if you do. But I'm gonna have to stop recording. If I see anything else exciting, I'll show you.